Chapter 17. Wernher von Braun. He was born in Germany in 1912 and died in Virginia in 1977. He was a German engineer who played a prominent role in all aspects of rocketry and space exploration, first in Germany and after World War II in the United States. He was born into a prosperous aristocratic family. His mother encouraged young Wernher's curiosity by giving him a telescope upon his confirmation in the Lutheran Church. He did not do well in school, particularly in physics and mathematics. A turning point occurred in 1925 when he acquired a copy of The Rocket into Interplanetary Space by rocket pioneer Hermann Oberth. Frustrated by his inability to understand the mathematics, he applied himself at school until he led his class. In the spring of 1930, while enrolled in the Berlin Institute of Technology, he joined the German Society for Space Travel. In his spare time he assisted Oberth in liquid-fueled rocket motor tests. In the autumn of 1932 the Rocket Society experienced financial difficulties. At that time, Captain Walter Dornberger was in charge of solid-fuel rocket research and development in the Ordnance Department of Germany's 100,000-man armed forces. He recognized the military potential of liquid-fueled rockets and the ability of Braun. Dornberger arranged a research grant from the Ordnance Department for Braun, who then did research at a small development station next to Dornberger's existing solid-fuel rocket test facility near to Berlin. 2 years later, Braun received a PhD in physics from the University of Berlin. By 1934, his group, which included an additional engineer and 3 mechanics, successfully launched 2 rockets that rose vertically to more than 1.5 miles. But by this time there was no longer a rocket society. Tests had been forbidden by decree and the only way open to research was through the military. A large military development facility was erected in the northeast of Germany with Dornberger as the military commander and Braun as the technical director. Liquid-fueled rocket aircraft and jet-assisted takeoffs were demonstrated successfully and the long-range ballistic missile A-4 were developed. The A-4 was designated by the propaganda ministry as V-2. Braun recognized the value of the work of American rocket pioneer Robert H. Goddard. Braun said that until 1936, Goddard was ahead of us all. At the end of World War II, Braun, his younger brother, Dornberger and the entire German rocket development team surrendered to U.S. troops. Within a few months, Braun and about 100 members of his group were at the U.S. Army Ordnance Corps test site at White Sands, New Mexico, where they tested, assembled and supervised the launching of captured V-2s for high-altitude research purposes. At the end of the war, the U.S. had entered the field of guided missiles with practically no previous experience. The technical competence of Braun's group was outstanding after all. If we are good, it's because we've had 15 more years of experience in making mistakes and learning from them, Braun commented. In 1952, Braun became technical director of the U.S. Army Ballistic Weapon Program. In 1958, Braun and his Army group launched the first U.S. satellite, Explorer 1. After the National Aeronautics and Space Program, NASA, was formed to carry out the U.S. space program, Braun and his organization were transferred from the Army to that agency. As director of NASA's Marshall Space Flight Center, he led the development of the large space launch vehicles, Saturn I, 1B and V. The engineering success of each rocket in the Saturn class of space boosters, which contained millions of individual parts, remains unparalleled in rocket history. In 1970 he was transferred to NASA headquarters in Washington, D.C. as Deputy Associate Administrator for Planning. He resigned in 1972 to become Vice President at Fairchild Industries.